Hello, I'm Edward Pablo Picasso Frizzell, and I'm joined by...
Simon Ludwig van Beethoven. Jeffrey. Forgot my real name.
Wow, you are watching and listening to the video commentary for Jungle Run. Jungle Run is not a sequel to my first ever film, Jungle Jim, but rather a remake.
Is it a reboot?
It's a reboot. Before it was cool, we rebooted. So...
This is a 2005 edit, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, we should probably explain that. So, this was made in 2002, 2003, around that time. A couple of years after the first Jungle Gym. After Jungle Gym, I think we'd made a smack-ass in between. And...
yeah, we started a couple of things.
Yeah.
The relic, but...
we just wanted to make something, and I think our thoughts were... we've got the script and it's ready, and we probably weren't ever going to use Jungle Gym again because even we could see how poor it was.
Well, it came on leaps and bounds in those opening few years.
So we reshot it. I don't think it had the same script, but it's essentially...
yeah.
The
plot is
the plot's identical. Some bits are expanded, some new characters added.
And so we came to a point where we decided to re-edit them.
Yeah, so they were in the mid-noughties. All of these films that we had done had, and by this I mean Jungle Run and The Will, had been edited with copyright music in them.
Yes.
So not really understanding copyright law and things like that. Thinking, real films just put whatever music they want in it, so I'm going to do the same. They're not really understanding that concept, and then suddenly it becoming clear about that. I think, not that I had any kind of grand schemes for it to go out and sell it or whatever.
No,
but
I was at uni with people who still didn't grasp that concept.
No, but I think it was just, I'm not going to hold it back with copyright.
I think it was just a habit that was worthwhile to get into the habit of trying to keep that sort of thing to a minimum to make your film not limited in its what you can do with it.
Yes, precisely. Because
we were because this was 2005, so we had been to the Co-option Film Festival once that year, so I think we probably just had a bit of time as well, just thinking let's upscale them or let's do something.
That was the other thing as well. I think we had better technology for capturing the old analogue tapes. That it meant the picture quality would get an improvement.
But as I understand it, I edited them quite quickly.
Yeah.
And so we and a lot. The sound wasn't great, so we did most of the voices ourselves. This is my cameo.
Yes.
That I inserted during the edit, just to put myself into the film.
Which, much like its genius later on, is shot on a newer camera.
Yeah.
So it looks clearer.
I play a character, I think in the credits, called Gary Cooper, who looks nothing like the real Gary Cooper, the film star, but I just like the idea that I play someone who actually exists.
Existed, yeah.
But that was decided, the name was decided afterwards. I wasn't basing my performance on anyone.
I mean, for anyone who's actually watched Jungle Gym, I think you can already see the scenes now have some kind of pacing to them. And
yeah, I mean,
your edit helps that, obviously.
I don't know that I changed the pacing that much of the edit. I probably just trimmed the fat a little bit, made some of the transitions a bit smooth. This is supposed to be day for night, I think, although it's
quite clearly
just day with the lights off. So I'm the voice of James in this, then, am I?
Yes, that's right. You completely.
And you're Rob.
Yes.
So I think the whole film is dubbed.
Because the sound isn't great.
Dan keeps his own voice.
But Dan has his own voice, and that might be the raw audio, actually. But I think we wanted them to sound slightly older than they did.
Yeah, I was slightly worried that it was maybe a bit alienating towards James and Rob. They might not feel they had any reason to ever watch it because their performance had been removed out of it. But it was actually, in the old days of Hollywood, it was quite a common practice. So you'd cast one person on, they cast them for the looks and then cast their voice separately.
Yeah.
Only for like the proper stars, where those two things went hand in hand.
What's also noticeable about this film, which I find quite funny, is we made Jungle Gym, and that was 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yes.
And then by the time we did the next film, it was 235 as wide as anything.
Where did that come from? Did you get some film school tutoring or?
No, it was the first time I noticed it, or I became conscious of the ratio thing, was when I had a copy of Rush Hour 2 that I bought and played on my PS2, because that was the only DVD player I had back then. And we had just got a widescreen TV, and I played it on there, and it still had borders. And I can remember being like, well, why has it still got borders? It's a widescreen TV. And then doing some research on the internet, and then reading up about it, and being fascinated by how wide the picture was and how cool it was, and actually became a little bit obsessive about the ratio.
We became known for like everything was 235.
Yeah, wider is better always.
There are uses for either 235:1 or.
I'm nowhere near that line there.
Cigar, sir.
I made them myself was added because they look atrocious.
Added in a farting noise. There.
Yes, just to annoy Dan.
Now, that is not a phone from the time that you filmed this. That was an old phone then.
That was an ancient phone. Back then that was hilarious, but I kept making Dan use it.
I mean, I had a 3310, I think, at that point. Like, pretty decent.
Oh, yeah. They were much smaller than that. I think I used to watch like the old Bond movies and stuff from like the 80s, and like action films from the early 90s where
get out my cell phone.
They would get out their massive cell phone and be like, oh man, it's like that. I mean, it's not. Yeah. I mean, this is thought as well, like we actually had a shot of a river there.
That had a digital effect there with the shadows going over the water.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, look. It wouldn't have had that in 2003.
No. I don't even know if I had a shot of a river.
I don't. I couldn't tell you.
Could have been borrowed from somewhere. No, the thing about the 235:1 ratio is that you go into a close-up and you've still got half the frame empty a lot of the time, which is like a blessing and a curse sometimes if you've got nothing to fill the frame with. But it means you can have those kind of epic vistas, and you can have someone full frame, close-up in the frame, and whereas you bring in the sides or you have a squarish picture, then it gives a different effect, which might suit what you're doing better.
Yeah.
We just took the view like 235:1, wider is better, whatever you're doing. Until relatively recently, I think, where I've gone back to a wide, like a 16:9 format for some films, like Hugo, is just to take advantage of the fact that I animated everything in that film, so why crop off parts?
Get as much resolution as you can from it.
I like this music.
It's cool.
It's like he's at a spa or something. I remember cutting around any parts of Dan where you saw his shorts. I wanted to make it look like he was naked.
Naked, yes. Was that the real reason for 235:1?
Probably.
I can remember me with the crappy fake beard I'm sporting.
Oh yes.
Discoloured the water.
That went down well.
Yeah, sure it did. Quite proud of that death scene.
Don't think he's dead. What would lead you to that conclusion? I mean, he's either dead or he's not dead. If you don't think he's dead, then check. I don't think he's dead.
I'll just put that in there so it'll be in the sequel. Jungle Run 2.
There was a Jungle Gym 2.
I wrote a script for it, yeah.
The last
Still got
attempt.
that password protected on my computer.
But that was pre-Jungle Run.
Yeah.
So you decided to reboot rather than sequel.
Yeah.
Would you ever do another Jungle Run?
No.
I started.
You wrote what, like a 5-year anniversary one?
Yeah, I was going to do a remake of Jungle Run, which is a remake of Jungle Gym, and it was surprisingly faithful. I wrote myself in as a part.
Yes.
And you played a character called Awesome.
But it was essentially the same character.
I liked it because it comes from like the word bear.
Yes.
And I thought I like the idea that you're a kind of a big, tough henchman.
I am very big, tough.
Like a bear, which has other meanings in other
You mean I was
communities.
naked?
Yeah. Great
nice
way.
explosion. Oh, what was there originally?
Nothing. No, you did have some effects.
Did I?
I think so. It was on VCD. I remember I have my copy. Still got my copy.
I've still got a VCD copy actually. Yeah, it was hard to distribute this stuff back then. I mean, it wasn't really if you had money.
It was pre-internet.
But yeah.
Well, it was pre-social networking and pre-video sharing.
I mean, YouTube was just a glint in Google's eye back
No one had internet fast enough. This would have taken months to download. If you
yeah.
P2P'd it.
Put it on Winamax.
Put it on Kazaa.
Winamax?
Or LimeWire. That's it.
Yeah, so they're the end credits. I mean, it's...
Alan Norton.
When you think about how old it is, really, so 13 years now when we're recording this.
It was 2003, wasn't it?
2 or 3, what? So 12 or whatever. It doesn't look terrible.
But it's maybe a year or a year and a half after Jungle Gym.
Yeah.
It's come a lot.
And I think there's an improvement after this as well, obviously.
This sort of goes together with The Will for me a little bit in terms of like miniature eras of their own.
Yes.
And then we enter a new one with Odie.
Yeah.
Check that out.
So thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.
No.